hour, so rack 'em up. Ooh, mama, it's cocktail hour, so pour it up.
What's up, guys? It's your girl, Zeta Lisa. Welcome to Mama's Cocktail Hour, and specifically, welcome to After Hours. So, this is where you get all the juicy conversation, the real after hours convo. So, welcome. Let's slide right into our topic today. So, today we are going to be discussing the none other than Diddy. So, if you tired of me talking about Diddy, jump off this. It's your time now to get the fuck up out of here because I think someone said something super powerful today. Diddy has been terrorizing New York City, LA, just terrorizing people all throughout, and people are talking about it, and now everybody's like, I'm tired of hearing Diddy. Well, this is your disclaimer. If you tired of hearing a Diddy, get up out of here now because we getting into the real. I don't even know where to start. I feel like it's been a couple of days, so I'm just going to start from my man Suge. So I just threw up a post on Mama's Cocktail Hour. So if you guys are not following me on the gram, this is your opportunity to do so now. You can find me on Mama's CH Network on Instagram. So go and give me a follow because I am trying to grow my page. But I just threw up a post about Suge Knight because you guys know I've been giving you the real on Suge Knight. He got his podcast going. His podcast is dope. Everybody was hating on it. I actually think the Breakfast Club threw some shade. Specifically, Envy threw some shade, and like he should be throwing shade, right? So, but he threw some shade on Suge Knight, being like, ain't nobody want to hear Suge Knight podcast. Well, Suge Knight has set the record straight. Okay? He is up in these internet. I don't know. It's not an internet. Okay? He's doing this on the jack. He's doing this on the phone. Okay? So he is just, and it's so crazy because everything is like aligning. Like, can we, because this is after hours, and you know, after hours, we get real intimate. We get real, we get conspiracy theory-ish, so this is what you can expect on After Hours. So let me show you what I'm talking about. We are aligning. The universe is aligning. Everything is aligning. And I find it so interesting that Suge Knight creates a podcast, right? When the whole Keefe D situation is going on. Keefe D is actually going to court right now regarding his millions of interviews on Vlad TV. Shout out to Vlad TV. No hate there. Vlad TV is dope. So, but, I think me and my husband, Sean, we were just speaking on this because, like, we are now in the age of, like, podcasting and people doing interviews. Back in the day, there was no interviews. Unless you were, like, a big celebrity going on, like, 106 in Park, or you was going on the radio. Like, there wasn't so much media. So it's so interesting to see as, like, how some of these people that are coming on these platforms now, like Vlad TV, The Art of Dialogue. Shout out to The Art of Dialogue. That's a dope podcast as well. And, I feel like The Art of Dialogue is giving Vlad TV a run for his money because his platform is kind of the same way. He interviews people. And I feel like Art has the biggest interview right now. And I swear I see something drop from Art like every freaking day. So it's just dope how he has set his concept up in a way where we are discussing all of the same issues. And it's crazy how things are aligning, right? And this is why I think everything that's happening with Diddy is just so groundbreaking because he's touched, and I ain't talking about that type of touch, guys. Although there was that type of touch too, because you already know the freak offs, right? The freak offs was just insane. Cassie's 35-page lawsuit was insane. One of the things that they're bringing up now, and I'm going to let y'all know in these internet streets, okay? So the real is the lawsuit was actually 60 pages. Yes. So imagine all of the things that was omitted from that lawsuit. When I heard that, I was like, how much more SHIT can we take? Right? Like, how much more was in there? I mean, I know people already had their reservations about what could that be, right? We definitely knew that. I don't know if he was just watching. I guess that was the biggest thing. But how much more, right, could Cassie have went through? Cassie went through 10 years of being in a relationship where she was constantly demeaned. And, you know, Gene, I love Gene. I agree. I think Gene Deal is he's a trustable person. You know, I think I see Gene and I look at Gene and I think about the old school guys who be in the barbecue, who, you know, who's barbecuing and want to feed the whole neighborhood. Like, that's what Gene Deal gives me. He definitely gives me grandfather, you know, father vibes. He seems like he's very honest. But I still think that there's an aspect of Gene Deal that kind of like the limelight too. And I don't know why I vibe that, guys, because I feel like I'm a person that like when I like somebody, I really, really like them. And for a long time, I've been listening to Gene Deals because he's been talking about this. Like, this is not new for him. Like, he's going on Art of Dialogue right now, and he's been going on Vlad TV, and he's done certain podcasts. I think he also did Storm Monroe's podcast. So he's been on a couple of like really big YouTube platforms and podcasts. But he's been saying this forever. Gene Deal was one of the first people to come out and talk about the most infamous butt plug story when it came to Diddy. And Gene Deal talks about a time where he went into an exotic bookstore with Diddy. And, you know, if you guys don't know who Gene Deal was, he was Diddy's like bodyguard, like his main bodyguard that was like assigned to Diddy specifically. So he said he went into this exotic, he called it like a bookstore. He said he went into an exotic bookstore with Diddy and, you know, he was just picking up some things and putting it into a brown bag. And, you know, he's putting the things in there quickly. But one thing that he did notice was, you know, he grabbed something from up high. So when Gene Deal went to go look at it, Gene Deal said, hey, I saw, there was some butt plugs. So, you know, he for years has been, you know, saying that Diddy was allegedly having sex with men. That was one of the things that he came out and he's been saying for years. So I think that when this whole Cassie story kind of broke out, everybody was like, yo, Gene Deal's been telling us. Like, he's been telling us for years and people weren't listening. But, you know, I can imagine that a lot of the things that he too is saying, even though I do feel like he's sincere, is cleaned up a little too. I don't know. It seems a little polished. Not that he's not telling the truth. That's not what I'm not saying, because I really do think he is a reliable person. If you don't know, he was a New York City probation officer. So he was doing the security job shit like on the side. Like, that wasn't like his main hustle. Like, so he was getting money. And I respect that. And that was one of the things that I think set him apart from a lot of people that were affiliated with Diddy through Bad Boy, is that Gene Deal really didn't need him. And that's what goes back to what I was saying previously. See, Gene Deal didn't need Diddy. He financially had a really good job. He was a New York State probation officer. So he had a job. But he did the Diddy thing on the side to get extra money. So that's why a part of me feels like Gene likes the like spotlight. You know what I mean? He likes to be, I don't know if you guys peeped his show, but he got the Gene Deal show. So shout out to Gene Deal. His show is cute though. I can't lie. He be going on there. He be talking some wild shit. I think I actually caught an episode where Mase and him was going at it. I don't know. Gene Deal says something about Mase, about the day that Biggie had died, allegedly. I think Gene Deal was implying that Mase knew something about it. And yo, when I tell you Mase called Gene Deal on that YouTube live so damn quick, Yo, I haven't heard Gene Deal talk about Mase since. So shout out to Mase, bro. He's out here on these streets, keeping it real. I also put up some stuff of him too. I really like Mase. I think whatever he went through with Diddy, I feel like he was one of the, he was one of the major ones that have like really stood up to him. A lot of people either fold, get away, run away, and don't look back. Um, but Mase has been like the person that I feel like, besides the locks, because that was something crazy too. The locks went up when the locks went on Hot 97 and was talking to Angie Martinez about getting their publishing back. Bro, epic Diddy moment. If you didn't know he was a scumbag then, like you've been living under a rock. Because the locks was up there and they wasn't, I actually just heard the interview just recently. And I don't know. I like when I remembered it from back in the day, I kind of remembered it being more rah-rah, right? Because it's the locks. Like you expect them to like get on the mic and be like, yo, give me the, like you expect that type of energy. But that wasn't the energy. Now that I'm older and I can actually listen to it and, try to be fair. Because that's one of the things that I feel like I am in this journalist game. Like regardless of what I say here and what I may believe, I like to be fair. And so being fair, I like to say like, Diddy has not been convicted of anything that we're saying. All of these things that I'm saying are alleged. So, I have to be fair with that. He did pay a lawsuit, and people want to know, why would you pay a lawsuit and pay that quickly within 24 hours if you weren't admitting to some type of guilt? But to be fair, he hasn't been convicted of any of these crimes. And so now back to regular schedule programming, right? um, but, I think ultimately you can vibe situations. And sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire. And so for me, there has been so many smoke signals with Diddy throughout the years. There has been the whispers but I think this is better. I think this is bigger than his sexuality, right? Cuz I think um we are like people are tending to focus more on the sexuality aspect of it. And the reason why is because he is this completely different person on the outside. So on the outside, Diddy, I can see because he's a Scorpio, which I think is crazy. I just found out the other day, like his birthday's November 4th and I'm November 6th. So like we're both Scorpios. And one thing about Scorpios that I can tell you in my experience is that we're very like high energy, very aggressive, seductive. Like that's why they say like Scorpios and sex, because we're like very sexual beings. That's what they say. But we may all not be. But what I see in Diddy's energy is that he's very much this tough guy. And I think people focus on the sexuality aspect of it because that is completely different from the image that he puts out, that he wants people to see, right? He wants people to see this tough guy persona that's cool, that's the life of the party, who got money, who's flashy, who's tough. Like he puts out that persona. So when there's the whispers of like his sexuality, I think that's why people are so shocked by it. But there was something that I wanted to share that I feel like is important, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all human, right? And we all know that we have like time on this earth. And I'm not trying to get all sentimental, but like I said, it's after hours, so it's going somewhere. In the midst of like understanding that there has been like some horrendous allegations around death when it comes to Diddy as well. And one of the things that I know that I've expressed on this show is his baby mama, Kim Porter. So I have been following the Kim Porter story since I want to say 2018. Okay, she died in 2018 in November. And it kind of like sparked a whole like silent internet war. And at the time, I wasn't really podcasting, but I was listening a lot. And one of my favorite podcasts has been following the Kim Porter story from beginning to end. So shout out to Tough News. Like, he has a dope podcast where he talks about some of the stuff that he has found, or he has, he has sources that he has picked up on throughout the years. And these are all allegations and they're all alleged, but there has been some real talk about whether or not Kim Porter death was truly of natural causes. So she died of a lumbar pneumonia, but what they're saying now is that the first coroner report actually said that they found a weird toxin in her body. So what ended up happening was the person who did that initial report was then later fired and then ultimately died, right? So there are so many things that are happening behind the scenes. So Ed Winter was the guy who did the coroner report. He was fired when he reported that he found an unknown toxin in Kim Porter's body. So he was fired, and then a couple of months later, he was they actually got another coroner to come in. And when that coroner did the report, it looks like he then was the one who said it was of a lumbar pneumonia, but that's not what the original coroner's report originally said. So, there has been whispers where, was it Diddy? Did Diddy have the most motive to not kind of want her there? What I did hear on these internet streets, and I have not found it, but I do want to give you what I find, right? Because this is what After Hours is about. It's about the real. Today I was doing some digging, and during my digging, I found what looks to be some what am I even calling it? It was called a manuscript. Okay, so it looks like there was a manuscript that someone was actually reading on their YouTube page. So shout out to the Donut Show. I was actually following him, and he was reading the manuscript. Now, this is supposed to be Kim Porter's manuscript. I do not know the validity of it, so I will let you know that. I can't tell you if it's 100% accurate, because he didn't really give information on his source. But he did say that it was going to be hitting these internet streets and that people were going to be talking. So I can give you some quick insight to it. It kind of went through a lot of the things that we've already been hearing in the internet about Kim Porter, about Andre Harrell. If you guys do not know who Andre Harrell is, he was basically Diddy's mentor. So Diddy was an intern for Andre Harrell, turnaround. Then Diddy was like now bigger than life. And so everybody was alleging that the reason why he was bigger than life is because he probably did something strange for some change with Clyde Davis. I'm not saying that, it's alleged, but that's what the streets is saying. So that's why they're saying that Diddy moved up in the ranks so quickly. And so now Diddy's now this executive. He gets the money that he needs to start Bad Boy Records, and he starts Bad Boy Records with one artist, none other than Biggie Smalls. So in this manuscript, they basically go through how he was royally effing Biggie. And I don't mean literally, but I just mean like in regards to business. He was taking all of Biggie's publishing. He had 100% of his publishing. And Biggie was actually on the verge of like smartening up. He was getting a lawyer. He was doing all the things he needed to do. He actually started his group because he knew that he can make music with them and keep the money from their publishing that way. And when Diddy caught wind of that, Diddy was upset. So, it got real political with money with Diddy and Biggie, and that's why the manuscript that they were stating and alleging that is out and may be out in these internet streets. I haven't found it, but like I said, I took some pictures of it. But I want to kind of, check the validity of it first, but I just wanted to give you guys an inside scoop. So this manuscript that came out is allegedly Kim Porter's book. And I'm like, I hear myself and I'm like, oh Lord. Kim Porter's book, like the book that everybody says she died over, because that's what it is, guys. Kim Porter was writing a tell-all book right before she died. And Jaguar Wright has been on these internet streets telling everybody who wants to know that, isn't it suspicious that Andre Harrell died? He was down with Uptown Records. Heavy D died. He was down with Uptown Records. Kim Porter died. And Al B. Shore almost died because he was like needed dialysis not too long ago. And the only person that is still living from Uptown Records is Sean Diddy Combs. So, you know, people are, oh my God. Like if I told you some of the things that I've heard, it's just been so crazy and it's so vast. But I do want to hit on one more thing. Like I'm gonna work on getting you guys that book. I want to check the validity of it, and once I do that, I will definitely be coming back with that scoop, because I need to do my research, because the whole Kim Porter thing is just, it's heavy to my heart, because you know she was a mom, she was dope. Like I said, we don't know if these things are true. They're all alleged at this point, but I'm just telling you guys what I've been hearing in these internet streets and what my thoughts are. My thoughts are, regardless of what, Cassie and Kim Porter were used as like sex slaves. If you guys have not read the 35-page document, it's something that's easily Googleable. Like these things that people are saying on these platforms are coming from like actual factual information. Like Diddy signed a document that says, I'm going to pay you this money, so don't say nothing or whatever happened. But he is basically saying like, I'm paying you this money. Why would you be paying this money if you didn't think that what, you know, she wrote was true? She was forced to have freak offs, guys, for sometimes over 72 hours. She's complained about being dehydrated. There was talks of sex trafficking because they were moving around from hotel to hotel. Right? Gene Deal came out and said that he's seen, you know, Diddy be able to like pay some shit off. He even references the most biggest scandal in all of New York. And I remember because I'm a New Yorker, so shout out to Hell's Kitchen. But I'm originally from NY, so of course I was listening to Hot 97 and 105.1. And Wendy Williams was one of the biggest radio show hosts back in the day. And it was alleged that Wendy Williams was going to leak a photo that she had came across, and the photo was apparently like Diddy or someone else on their knees with Diddy, and the photo looked very sketchy. And so when Diddy caught wind of it, he called an exec of the radio station up, and Wendy Williams was doing radio in Philly. Like, this is all things that you can kind of, and it was because people were whispering about the parties. These parties aren't regular house parties like you back in the day. You throw the lights off, everybody's dubbing on the freaking walls, and everybody's, you know, hit them money, get them money now. Like, it ain't those type of parties. These is freak offs. Okay? People with masquerades. People like laying around Romanesquely. I don't even know if that's a word. Romanesque, like Romans. You know what I mean? Like grapes. I heard this one guy on the radio. I forgot who he is. I'll be completely honest. But he basically said that he went to a Diddy party. And he said, I'm actually saying this so I can live, so that there's factual evidence. If something happens to me, like, that's what people feel like when you talk about Diddy now. They're like, yo, he's coming for you. I can't tell you how many times, like, one of my girls has been like, yo, Diddy's coming for you, bro. Like, it's a running joke. But this guy goes on a radio and he's talking about his experience at one of Diddy's parties, right? And he said that he goes into this mansion and, he doesn't really know anybody, but his friend knows everybody. And, he says he has to go to the bathroom. He's in Diddy's house. He's expressing that the girls, that they look very exotic. And there's a whole bunch of like need to know people that he doesn't, need to know maybe. And he stumbles into the bathroom and he's like, yeah, I have to go to the bathroom. He goes down the stairs and he said that he's like met with a long hallway with like nothing but doors left and right. And he's like, yo, I'm going into this room. I'm like, okay, this is a room. There's no bathroom in there. So he's kind of getting lost. And then he says he opens up the door to a room where Diddy was in with another music exec. He said that they were basically laying there with a one glass of Hennessy, spooning. And he said that Diddy looked at him and the security came and kicked him out. But he said that he made physical eye contact with that man. And he said a couple of months later, he saw Diddy at he saw Diddy at, he said like at, I don't know, some like media event. And he was like, yo, that Diddy like locked eyes with him and was like, yo, where do I know you from? And he was like, yo, he knew that I knew at that moment that we know that I caught him spooning with another man. So like these are things that have been in the whispers forever. And, I want to make this clear because this is not about his sexuality. For me, it's like, it's not about his sexuality. For me, it's about more of the control. I really don't even think that, in my opinion, that Diddy is bisexual. I don't think he's bisexual. I will make the argument to say that Diddy is not bisexual, that he is gay. And he uses these women and, as his beard, like to kind of show like, hey, I'm a man. I have a woman, because all he does to the woman around him is beat on them, use them as punching bags, use them for his sexual pleasure, right? He doesn't like he has babies with them. He doesn't allow them to get into other relationships. Talk about one person that has been with Diddy other than J-Lo, because J-Lo is on a whole different level because she was a whole like A-lister with him, right? That he has been able to like let go and allow them to like live their life. Like he's very controlling. So for me, I personally do not feel like Diddy loves women. I think he uses and abuses women because he really doesn't want to be with them. He really wants to be himself. And whether himself is being just gay, but he doesn't want to be gay because it doesn't like play out with his image and what he thinks his image should be. And I think that I really don't think he loves women at all. That's just my opinion. There's no way that you're gonna allegedly kick somebody's babies, like kick like 7 like births. How can I word this? His girlfriend, not Cassie, but there was another girlfriend that came out on Tasha K, guys. I think her name was Gina. Gina came out on Tasha K, I want to say years ago. I remember, like I said, like the Diddy thing has been in the streets forever. But Gina came out and she basically said that he was mean to her, right? And it was like, what? She's young, right? Because you're like, Diddy has a thing where he likes to do this to young women. You see, he would not be able to do this to no woman who is like completely secure, okay? And this is no shade. And I'm not saying that any women who are not secure with themselves, this wouldn't happen to. Like, this can happen to anybody. But what I'm saying is he preys on a certain type of people, right? And for me, Cassie was 19 years old. He used his fame, the fact that he was her boss. He used all of that against her. So, she deserves you guys know my stance on this. I've said this, like, money grab what? Like, she deserves everything that she has. But for me, it, like I said, going back to what I was saying, I don't think he really loves women at all. I think he uses and he abuses them because he likes control. You know, Gina was a girl that he was messing with while he was with Cassie. And the reason why we know that is because she went on, I think, Tasha K about 3 years ago, and she broke the story about how, like, she wanted to have a baby by Diddy, but he was mean to her. And then when Tasha K was like, yo, what does mean? And she was like, he would fight me. He found out I was pregnant and he tried to kick my stomach. He would beat me up. Like, what? And you know, he tried to pay, she got pregnant and he paid her off to like get an abortion. Like, these are all things that Gina is talking about on Tasha K's podcast. If you guys have not checked it out, check it out. You know, she definitely, to me, she seems like a girl who, she's beautiful. Like, she's like stunning girl, like dead, like she's very beautiful, but she seems like very like immature, because she didn't even describe it like mean. Like, I was like, wow. Like, Tasha K was like, what is mean? Like, I was like, yes, please describe what the fuck like mean is, because you know, your teacher is mean to you when she's having a bad day. Like, if somebody is completely stomping you the F out, I don't think that person's being mean to you. I think that person is a pure abuser and he's abusing you. So, you know, like I said, this has been something that has been just a recurring thing. And I know, you know, Mase Hilton too, Brim. Shout out to Mase Hilton, Brim. It looks like she has like fully put her foot down. Although I think people are like speaking on the streets and there, you know, there's been whispers. But she hasn't really come out and officially said anything. We know back in June she came out when I think her son had got into some DUI drama. Something had happened. I think she had came out and was like, yo, kind of blaming it on Diddy, saying like, yo, bad boy, what? She was like, yo, why would you want to be a bad boy? Like, at this, like, I want to be a queen. Like, she was just basically putting him in his place, saying that she's done with the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, she was putting it all out there. And you know, people are suggesting now that she's not messing with him no more, like she's done. And some of the reasons why is because, you know, we be on these internet streets checking if people are following this person, following, like, this is what you got to do. And so it looks like Justin Combs and Mase Hilton Brim are both still following Cassie and nobody else is. So the streets is saying Mase Hilton is like, I'm done. He did exactly what he did to Cassie. He was doing to me. I'm sick of it. It stops here. And Mase Hilton she's like, I am done. So shout out to Mase, man. And, you know, I think a lot of people are going to come out in their own time. I think right now, because he's still like running rampant and things are happening, I think it's shocking to everybody. But I didn't expect this to be so long. But, you know, when I start talking and I start getting into my after hours talk, it be getting real deep. But I hope you guys like the content. I am going to bring you some new information. I definitely want to find out more information on that Kim Porter manuscript. I'm saying transcript. It's manuscript. I want to find out some of that. I want to figure out what, you know, the validity of that. And then I definitely want to come and bring that to the forefront. So you can definitely find that in our next After Hours. I hope you guys like it. Please do not forget to hit that notification button so that you could be notified, like when, you know, I'm dropping a new video. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I'm trying to grow my channel. I really appreciate it. It's your girl Zeta Lisa, and I will talk to y'all soon.